everyone, so today I'm back for another foundation review, and this one's going to be a side-by-side version of the L'Oreal cushions that have launched in Singapore. To my knowledge, these are the first launches in Asia. It has anything to do with L'Oreal and a Korean type cushion foundation. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I guess you guys probably have seen, if you have followed me for a pretty long time, that I did a review on the L'Oreal Lucent Magique cushion, which is, I think it's called Nude Magique in Paris and Europe, I think. But yeah, basically this one is said to be a really light and dewy coverage kind of a cushion, and it looks like that, very sleek. If you guys want to see the full length review of this, I'll link it below. But today what we will be comparing this to is L'Oreal's latest launch worldwide, but basically Singapore is the first in Asia to launch the comparative product from L'Oreal. People from L'Oreal sent me this box with a lot of goodies. So it comes with a Lucent Magique blush cushion in T2 and another blush cushion in C1 Coral. I have used this before and I have this, so I might save this for a giveaway. But yeah, these are just, you know, liquid type blushes. So the new foundation is actually called Cushion Porcelain. As you can see, very similar packaging to the Lucent Magique, but the difference being that this is going to be a really dewy finish and this is said to be a matte, semi-matte kind of a finish. So it's really great for people with oily skin like myself. So we're just going to be putting these two cushions to the test, and if you want to see the full length review, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I've just cleansed my face, and yeah, let's just move on to talking about the newer cushion. If you want to see anything about the older Lucent cushion, you can check out my review, but I'll just be giving you really snapshot kind of claims about it because I've already reviewed this in great lengths. As for this, it comes with a similar puff. Nothing too thick or too luxury feeling, but it is still an air puff that can work. Yeah, you can get 3 fingers in, so that's pretty handy for control. This is called the Cushion Porcelain, and yeah, as you open it, very similar packaging to the previous one. You open it up and you remove the seal. So as you can see, something looks really different if you notice anything about cushions. This has a net, and the net is shaped in an Eiffel Tower. Can you believe it? That's pretty awesome. I think that they really paid a lot of attention to detail, and yeah, it's super cool. By the way, this shade that I have originally is N3 Nude Miracle. This one is N4 Beige Miracle. So let's just see how the two compare. It might be a mismatch in terms of shade, but we will test out the formulation more accurately. As you can see, it's a net kind of a finishing, it's not a cushion, so that just improves a lot of things in terms of hygiene, as well as whether or not the product is readily exposed to oxygen, and when it is, it kind of taints the product and dries out the product, so it doesn't last as long. But once you kind of close the seal, and with that netted center, it kind of just really makes the product underneath sit for a very long time. Okay, so I'm just going to apply the Lucent Magique cushion on this side and the porcelain one on this side. Starting with the original cushion. This, you can see it is a cushion, so nothing too fancy about that. It's just soaked in foundation liquid. So as you can see, this is with a few layers actually. I tried to build it up to show you as much coverage as I can actually achieve. So what it looks like is really like skin. It's really tacky to the touch, and it actually feels super cooling on the skin. So it isn't like a minty feeling, but it's just like a really moisturized and dose of hydration to the skin. And yeah, it just makes your skin look really plumped and hydrated. I always found that this shade N3 looks a little bit white on me, in a sense that it's just really brightening. So as you can see, it isn't my ideal shape match, but it does match my, chest area really well, but not so much my arms. So yeah, that being said, I really like it. It's just that this is one that I would definitely gravitate to if I want something for an errand or something for a quick pick-me-up, but nothing too fancy, if you get what I mean. It kind of isn't that super full coverage, super flawless kind of a base, but it is something that just makes the skin look really plump and healthy. I generally will set this with powder, but just for comparative purposes, this is how the finish looks on this side. So with one press, that's how much it picks up. Okay, so on this side, it's slightly tacky at the moment. I'm just going to give it a while to set. Right off the bat, I can tell that the formulation is really similar in a way that it's very liquidy, and also it just blends very easily into the skin. I wouldn't say it's like that creamy consistency where it requires a little bit more effort, but it gives off a very high coverage right off the bat. This isn't like it. This is super lightweight and also just really, it gives me a very serum texture, if that makes sense. So it doesn't make your skin feel any more attacked, if that makes sense. It just feels like a layer of something has gone over. On this side, I feel that even though I applied one light layer and then I built on top of it, it did not provide me additional coverage. It did not give me as much coverage as I desired, and also now I still have a few blemishes peeking through. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but yeah, on this side, as I'm talking, it's starting to set. This part is a little sheeny, but it's not like here where it's the whole area, if that makes sense. So I think this will set down to a demi matte, but I feel like at the moment it doesn't make my skin feel too stripped or too dry, and I kind of appreciate that because I really hate foundations that feel so drying right off the first application. It's not something that gradually sets into a matte, because what happens, at least for my skin, and I think a lot of girls who have dehydrated skin because we don't drink enough water, we don't moisturize our skin enough, we sleep in air-conditioned room, generally you will have dehydration because you will have like flaky bits, you will have a bit of like dried clumps around your face because of the dead skin accumulation. And if you apply anything drying, so drying in formulation on top of your skin, it just remains that dry. You will see your flaky bits come to the surface and it really looks quite terrible. I have my experience with that and really bad cushions that do that, because I tried a MAC cushion, and I shall not give the product name away, but it basically just made me look super aged and really tired. But I found that this doesn't do that, and I'm very pleased with that. So as you can see, both sides are not that kind of masking kind of a cushion where it gives you a very flawless and unnatural appearance, but both really look really natural. I think N4 is really a good shade match for me because it has a very strong yellow orangey undertone, and it just complements my skin a lot more. This side just looks a lot more brightened. So I'll just bring you up for the final close-up. Okay, so most of my makeup's already done. I'm just going to show you how to apply this kind of a liquid type blush. What you can see on my face is a wet and tacky base, which means that it's just foundation without any setting powder. So what I like to do is apply it on top of a wet base and set everything with powder. But today, as we're doing a side-by-side comparison, I will not set it with powder at all, so that you can see the true reflection of both formulations as it proceeds throughout the day. But what I do is that I don't like to use a puff because I feel like that gives it a very patchy application. I like to use a dual fiber brush, and dual fiber brushes are in detail explained in my favorite brushes video. I'll link that below as well. But yeah, as you can see, it has two types of fibers. I just go into the cushion lightly. This cushion is very densely packed with pigment, so you want to be careful and go in circular motions. And that's how the blush looks, really dewy and really tacky looking. So I'm just going to bring you up further to see the final look. Alright, to sum up everything, I won't be doing an evening check-in just cause I feel like these foundation cushions might not be the most long-lasting kind of a cushion, but I think that if you saw in my previous video, it didn't really hold up very well just on its own. So this would be pretty, not exactly a very fair test on both sides if I were to put it through the ringer, because they definitely are very high in water content. So if you do any like rigorous activities, it's not going to be a waterproof kind of a base. But as you can see on both sides, this side is still looking a little tacky, a little sheeny, and this side has zero shine whatsoever. So that's really the difference, the main bulk of differences in these two cushions. One is definitely a lot more dewy and hydrating, the other is a lot more demi matte. I say demi because it's not going to be that kind of really crippling kind of a matte foundation. And yeah, if you like a mixture of both, and let's say the perimeters of your face is a little more oily and the center is a little more dry, you can use a combination of the two and always mix and match. I think that both shade N3 and N4 really don't look that much different, but as I look closer, this side definitely has an orangey yellow kind of a base, and this is just a lot more brightening and a lot more white. So yeah, depending on what kind of finish you like, I generally like it to look a lot more like my undertone, which makes me look a lot more healthy, a lot more natural. But both of these cushions are incredibly natural looking, and they're not going to look like you're wearing a ton of makeup. So yeah, that's a very, very big bonus in my books. So yeah, overall, I think that since I gave a previous grading to the Lucent cushion already, for the Procelain cushion I will give it about a 9 out of 10, just cause I really, really like it, in the sense that I did not really think that this cushion suit my skin type really well, but this latest launch really does suit it a lot better. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it informative, do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, do leave it in the comment box below and I'll do my best to get back to you. So with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!